just showing you the CAT electronic technician software overview and various parameter which we can see. There are two purpose of this technician. One is to see the parameter, uh, like first one is to get the information. See, it has I'm just showing you, it is not connected to the ECM right now, so we are going through trainer module to see. So I'm activating the trainer, enable the trainer. C32 engines, basically all the engines which are C32 or 3512, 3516 or 18, these engines it is used for to communicate. Now there are two purposes of this technician. First one is to get the information of parameter, events, code, diagnostic informations or code generations, engine configurations, and second one to perform various tests which will involve, there are various diagnostic tests. I will show you the calibrations of various sensors as well as injectors, then flash programming of ECM module if there is any upgradations or error, and configuration of electronic control module when which has been newly installed. So first it has shown, so we are going through a trainer module. You can see the trainer module, it is activated, that is enabled. Now first screen it will display the ECMs available. There are two ECMs are available when you connect to the engine. Select one which is appropriate and go through. Now there are various tabs are given on the top, and at the bottom you can see a various graphical interface. Graphical interface is the one which is shortcut of a menu. These are the main graphical user interface has to go through. So we will go one by one the tab and I will show you. First one, you can see the file tab. There is nothing much we can do. View, this is toolbar when we can go custom. If you have to do modification of some tabs and all, you have to put here and there to get easy access. Now the third one, I open this diagnosis. You just go there and see diagnosis, information, service, utility and help. So we'll start one by one. Diagnostics. What are the diagnostics? So I told you there are various diagnostic codes are generated and events codes are generated, and they are locked too in ECM. So it will, some events and diagnostic codes will be generated and will be stored in the ECM module, and when you get connected and generate the reports, so these diagnostic code will be easily available for the inspections or visual, you can see or read through your reports. And how the reports are generated, that also I will show you. The diagnostic codes, so active diagnostic codes. So when engine is running, now see we are running on the test mode, and suppose engines are running now, so there are no active diagnostic codes are generated. Remember, this is a trainer module, so it works like you are connected with the engine, but we are not actually connected. So it is just for a training or simulation purpose. Now we say there are no diagnostic codes are generated either in powertrain or any engine. So there are also log diagnostic codes. Is there any log code which are generated before we got the connected and which has been saved before? No, there is no logged also, so everything is fine. Now we go to the events. Now active events and logged events, same. We go to the event, see is there any events are generated. There are no events are generated either. So what is difference between diagnostic codes and event, what they do signifies? Now as far as diagnostic codes are concerned, they shows if there is any problem in your electronic component which is related to the drop in the voltage, or increased in the voltage, that, or if there is any short circuit or there is an open circuit, or there is any communication problem with any of sensors or any of connected equipment which is giving data or feeding data or giving feedback to the ECM. So the diagnostic code will be generated. So basically the diagnostic code will be generated when there is a problem in any of your electronic systems or electronic component. Now when the events are generated, basically when there is a problem of any hardware component. Now we do not have any monitoring component, like if there is any problem with the hardware component, like the main component in the engine to find out any problem in the any unit or any cylinder is basically pressure, but we don't have that sensor. So how they gather the data? So what ECM does, what they have employed to find out the possible problem is through gathering the data by different sensors. Like which are the sensors are there they gather the data from? Now there are different sensors, like we have fuel pressure sensors, then we have dual speed timing sensors, which is like from crankshaft position or camshaft sensor or camshaft position sensor or crankshaft position sensors, fuel temperature sensors, intake manifold pressure, intake manifold temperature, coolant temperature sensors, oil pressures. These are oil pressure sensors. These are various sensors which gathers the data and gives to the ECM. So ECM will determine the conditions of any one of which giving data which is equivalent or show a problem. Like you say, there is a problem in fuel oil pressure sensor, so there is a problem with related to the fuel temperature, so it will generate the event of the fuel temperature is high. So ultimately it will give an indications that your fuel cooler is not working or choked or something related. So the events are generated and it shows there is a problem with your hardware component which is unable to do their job, and so we can focus on hardware component, while diagnostic codes are generated when there is problem with the electrical component. Okay, now next is information में जाएंगे. We got the status. Status will show the running parameter of the engines. The running parameter of engines are classified into different groups. So group 1, group 2, group 3. So group 1 has you can see engine speed, boost pressure, throttle positions. In this group you will see the important parameters are like boost pressure, throttle position, rated fuel limit, FRC, fuel ratio control. So this is important parameter, has to be looked after when you have some trouble or noise or something like that. Okay, now we see status group 2, again different set of parameter. You can see there, here. Now we go to the another tab. We have log diagnostic code. These are the log diagnostic codes. I told you, if there is any log diagnostic code we can find out. No, there are nothing. So next one is event. Now again I said event when the event are generated and when the codes are generated. Now there is one of the purpose is calibration and doing diagnostic test. Now we say diagnostic test. Which are the diagnostic tests we do? Now injector solenoid test. Injector solenoid test are done when engine is stopped. So you can see when the supply is coming or not, or its supply is coming good or open circuit or there is short circuit. So we can test one by one. See, that is cut out, cylinder 1 is a cut out. Now again change, again it's we can press again, see it's powered. So you can also carry out test one by one. Engine will perform automatically. You press the start, I press the start. Now we start testing. You can see it start testing automatically for all cylinder. See, number 1 cylinder is showing not okay and it's short. That means this cylinder 1 injection might not be happening. So this is how it testing automatically. Okay, it keep on testing until all cylinder are finished. Now we stop this process. We go to the next. Okay, diagnostic test. Now we have override parameter. Override parameter will not go if there is any problem with your system and things are better and it's not an actual, so we can go through and change the parameter. So prelude, you don't want to prelude to run, so you can just go and put it off. Okay, I put it off. Yes, I don't want to prelude to work for my engine, so I just switch off. So see, I put this off. I don't want this to run. So like this you can override, but override only when it is required. Nothing should be override unless you are very sure. Okay, again go back. You see cylinder cutout test. Now what is the cylinder cutout test? Cylinder cutout test is done if you have any unusual noise from your engine, so you're very unsure, because engines are very, you see 12 cylinder engine, these are closely spaced units, so you're unable to make out from where sound is coming. So you can carry out the possible test to cutting off the particular cylinder. See, I cut off the, suppose I'm getting noise somewhere around 5, 7 or 8, and I'm unable to make from which 5, 7 and 9, I have been unable to make from which cylinder actually this noise is coming. So probably I will try to cut off the cylinder number 5. So I will cut off the cylinder number 5 and I will hear is there any change in the sound. If not, then again I will go for number 7. So perform this test keeping some difference in the time, like you wait for 20 seconds or 30 seconds, give engine some time to balance the forces, or otherwise you may going to damage if you start cutting off fast. So always wait before one take out properly and then you go for another, so considerable time to engine to stabilize before carrying out the next test. Now I go back, diagnostic test. What is the next? Vehicle test. What is a vehicle test? Ensure that the engine is not operating. The vehicle test is carried out when engines are not operating, because wiggling tests are these are not a modern, these are the very old technique of just wiggling and check is there any loose contact or is there any change in the things are happening. Like if I said I want to carry out a vehicle test to make sure that engines are stopped. Now group 2, I want to make sure that there is some problem with the fuel pressure, so I select the fuel pressure. I'm not getting the right input, so actual pressure is different, I'm not getting that much, so I will select group 2 and fuel pressure. Here I press the OK and I start wiggling the sensor. Now wiggling the sensor, the value will change. If do wiggling at one place, another place, third place, try to move the sensors, and then you will find there somewhere must be loose contact. So these wiggling tests are done for the purpose. Okay, now next is go back. I think we have completed all the tests. This is powertrain control. You cannot wiggle the powertrain. That's basically don't do it. Next, information. Now status, the status of the same which we have seen. Okay, this is you can see all the running parameter of the engines. Next is ECM summary. It will give about information about the ECM, equipment ID, software and etc. Next is current total. There's total fuel consumption, time, lifetime, average RPM, average fuel load factor, and so all this information. Next is data log. You can see the logged data or recorder or viewer. See trial, real-time graphing. If you want to see the real-time graphing, you just select the group. I want to see real-time graphing of FRC fuel, like fuel ratio controller, and I just press OK. Start showing you a graphical user interface of this. So it's okay. Now we close this one. We go to the another. Prognostic downloads are the one which are used to predict the health of engine. Trip segment. What are the trip segment will go? Okay, it's failed to retrieve the data from the trip segment. If your engine has a trip, okay, trip reset. If there is any trip, you can reset the trip. Okay, all trip will be resetted. So sometimes it happens that your engine has tripped and you are unable to reset. It is not resetting, and then you can go through and reset all the segment. the product status report. This is product status report. It will download all the information related to the ECM which is stored in the engine's events log, event logs or diagnostic log, any monitoring temperatures, and also you can create a report. Now continue. When you create the report, all the data will be loaded and it will form one a PDF file which can be used for analyzing purpose. So when you're connected tool, it's always better to get this product status report handy. See, and you can save as on the desktop, right? Okay, I have saved it on desktop. Report successfully saved. Go back to the information. You can see product status report. Okay, syslink. Now what is the syslink is? Syslinks are system information systems where just we put here, click here, and we are opening on web user interface where we are directly directed toward the server of the cat. Then you will log in. This is service information system. Service information system is used to create that you can access the Caterpillar online trim file like software files or flash file for ECMs or for purpose of upgrading the ECM. If you have any problem, you see the firmware and update it, so it can be downloaded from this. So whenever you're going to change the injector, I will show you. You have to download trim file through the sys, save it to the local desktops and program it in your injector. Done with the information, you come to the service. There is another important is a configuration. In configuration menu, you can see the various parameters of the engine. You can see selected RPM, rated RPM. Here you can change some parameter, like I said, preloop. You have preloop pump, and you don't have preloop pump, you have to put the 0 second. When you have preloop pump, if you want to change the time, the duration at which preloop pump has to be run, like I want to run a preloop pump for 5 seconds before start of engine, so you can put it here, select the value. Yes, I want to run it 5 seconds. But if you don't have preloop pump, you make sure that you set it at 0, so engine will not wait for preloop to start, and it understood that we do not have the preloop pump installed. You can cool down RPM. You want to change. No, I don't want to go there. Okay, second did not install. You want to change the cooldown speed 700, you can put it here. Okay, now rated speed of the engine is this, something you cannot change. See, you cannot change the rated RPM of engine. So these are the transmission install, maintenance parameter. Okay, then system setting, and there are some full load setting and full torque setting that which you cannot change, which is engines are more efficient what are set at the factory, so you don't need to change it. There are password then you have to change, which has to be customer given to change it, but should not be changed. Now you go to the coffee, sorry, I'm missing coffee. Okay, copy configuration and ECM replacement. If you have to replace the ECM, just make sure that you go to the ECM, no data will load from the ECM. Yes, now what it will do, it will load the data of ECM. Particularly we are copying the current ECM data. When you have to replace the ECM, make sure you load this to ECM data. Okay, save this file. Okay, trim files are not taken, so make sure. Okay, now this is the downloaded data, is downloaded. Now we can say save to file. Now this data has to be saved to the file. I have saved it here. Okay, now when you have to program when you install the new ECM, now load from file. We have already taken this, open. Okay, the current replacement loaded from this. Okay, we have replaced the ECM, we have loaded the data, but when we change the ECM, we have to work noting that each injector trim file has to be manually feed and into the ECM. Okay, so whenever you are changing ECM, the trim file has to be loaded manually to each injector. That means in the ECM into ECM. So copy configuration, monitoring system we go. We go to the monitoring system, we find severity, if there is any severity or related problem. Okay, parameter lockout, I will not go there. This is maintenance indicator, nothing much. Now last one is a calibration. This is important. Diagnostic, calibration and configuration. These are the three important things that gives a lot of information and a lot of authority to see, check and monitor. Now timing calibration for the engine. You can see I can do this, continue. See, calibration is successful. Now you go for again calibration. Monitor the throttle position sensor. Okay, throttle calibrations and throttle position sensor. We have to remember this use of the pulse width modulation is used. So on that base, this solenoids are working to control the timing as well as delivery of the fuel. So we have injector trim. This is important one. We can see calibration of the speed. Now we can go there. Use the arrow increment adjust engine load feedback. Arrow. Okay, increase the load 1 by 1. Okay, 74. Next. Calibration is successful. Okay, so engine load feedback calibration we have done. Injector trim calibration 5. Okay, now this is important one. When we change the injector or swap the injector, we have to either exchange. When you swap, we use the exchange, like we use 9 and 10 to swap, then we used to exchange the trim file from 9 and 10. Similarly, when you have changed the injector, suppose number 6 injector has been changed, so we have to load the injector trim file to the ECM, and I told earlier how to download ECM trim file from the sys module. Okay, now next I will go to the calibration. Back to calibration, we see I think it's finished. Nothing is there now. Okay, utility is nothing, कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे. तो these are all things. I can just show you what graphical user interface. You can see what it shows. Product status report. Select ECM. When you connect, it will ask you which ECM. Disconnect, connect, disconnect. Select ECM. Configuration tool. ECM summary. Logged event, log diagnosis and active diagnosis, and this is status. This is basically the important part of upper tab which is put in the graphical format. Okay, this is how we done. I will disconnect the training module now. Okay, disable, right? And let's close.